continue with just a few words about our new first-class concept first, and then I'll take you into the Swiss Taste of Switzerland concept that you get a better understanding of that. Just a few, I would say, mood pictures without music of Swiss, just to give you an idea of what are some of the investments that we've been making, enhancements over the year. To get a feel for the product offering. This is our lounges in Zurich, Switzerland. First class lounge here with the fine dining area in the lounge. And of course our new A330 cabin interior up here, where you can also have a kind of tete-to-tete dining experience with your partner on board. And then a kind of a look at some of the comfort items that we carry on board first class with our Bali amenity kits that we fill with Luxsure pajamas, currently from Van Laak designer, and just kind of an all-around very nice first class product with top Swiss brands wherever possible. A little bit of background about the first class project. As you saw, we have quite a nice offering on the ground in the air. Also in flight we have today still a very good offering, but we felt it was necessary to make a change. And why that? And as I said earlier, because Swiss is so committed to first class, it being the flagship of our airline, we said we really need to ensure that we have a top product. And I'd say we're probably today up here, but we want to get up here as high as possible. The current service concept that we fly is actually over 10 years old. It's now into its 11th year, and it's just, although still a very good concept, I would say, perhaps not any more as modern and contemporary as it should be. We have certainly noticed that the customer behavior has changed over the years. Customers have in the past wanted to have very lengthy meal services, 7 courses, 8 courses, wine and dine, day or night, and we see that that has changed. The customers, yes, on the day flight they certainly like to celebrate the meal service, but on the night flights they want something quicker. So we needed to adapt to their requirements. And what we also recognize is that the in-flight service, I would call it the hardware, so the tableware, the service items, and even some of the comfort items, did not really match the new corporate identity. So if you see the look in the lounges and the look in the cabin, it's a much more contemporary look, a much more modern, bolder look, and we needed to adapt the service in-flight to match that as well. We had various goals, and I'll just kind of go through a couple of them with you. Obviously, we wanted to enhance the overall service, and today we offer a very high level of individualized service, and our goal going forward is to take that a step further. And I think that's one of the things that differentiates Swiss from the rest of the airlines is, as I mentioned, this level of care, this personal care, and this individualized service, this authentic service that we can offer to our passengers. And nowhere better can you do that in first class, where you have a small cabin, not so many passengers, and more flight attendants available. We also, of course, wanted to provide, I would say, a expanded food and beverage offering, and you'll see it is quite a wide offer here, although we don't show everything. But we wanted to not only present our wonderful gourmet food from the Swiss Taste of Switzerland concept, but also to offer our passengers more simple items, more Swiss dishes. They're always screaming for bratwurst and rosti, for example, and these are things that we said we need to put on board. And this is kind of an ongoing trend we see in, I would say, a consumer trend back to more simplicity, away from a lot of gourmet food. We also wanted to ensure a more restful and tranquil environment on board, something you don't pick up when you see this presentation, but it's good to know that we're working on these things. We're trying to make the environment as quiet as possible, working with the cabin crew to ensure that they're quiet throughout the flight, adding thicker curtains on board to ensure we have better noise absorbency, working with materials that are more plastic related in the galley rather than metal, so we can reduce noise. So a lot of little steps to ensure we have a very calm environment. Another thing we wanted to do is to enable what we call storytelling. And as you'll see today with the Swiss Taste of Switzerland concept as one example, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes to make this come true and come to place. And we work not only with hotels and chefs, we work with the tourism agencies, we bring local cheeses on board, local wines on board, local chocolates, whatever's available. And we would like to tell our passengers about that. And today we do that mainly in the form of the menu card or the in-flight magazine or the after takeoff video. But we would like our flight attendants to actually talk to the passengers and really explain to them, who is Stefan Meyer, what is he creating on board for us next week? And just to kind of liven up the whole concept on board. And of course the major goal was to be able to implement it next week. So we will be starting on the 2nd of March, next Wednesday, on all flights out of Switzerland. On the 3rd of March, coming back from the USA and South America, and on the 4th of March, all other stations. So the Asian stations, the Middle Eastern stations. So it's a bit of a staggered introduction. Some of the highlights that you will see on the table as well is certainly this expanded food service. I talked about the meal service. We have new tableware on board with fine-bone china dishes from the company of Aza. That's a German chinaware manufacturer, and we have a couple of representatives with us today. Nice to have you both here. And we're proud to finally see the actual chinaware with the food. We think it looks great, and we hope all of you will appreciate it as well. We'll also introduce larger glasses on board. We tend to get very constricted with the space on board that we have, and we always end up selecting things that are, I call airline-like, so they fit into the galleys. And we're starting now to break away from that, and we're starting to say we need to be more restaurant style, we need to be more generous with our tableware, our service, our food. And the new Riedel wine glasses that we will be offering, new all glasses are from Riedel in first class, are a good example of how we're translating this. We also have introduced what we call new signature service items. And these are service items such as a cheese board or a Bali salmon platter or salt and pepper sets that we would like to be able to use for our signature items on board. And they have been designed especially for us, actually with us, from the École Design School of Lausanne. Any of you have heard of that? It's a very famous design school of Switzerland, and they are growing and becoming more renowned year for year, and we've been happy to work with them on this project. We will be introducing at a later date, sometime in summer, probably June, July, we will be introducing more luxurious comfort items on board. I talked about the amenity kits that we have, and the pajamas. But we also have a new day blanket and a new pillow that you'll see by the entrance on the chair. We set that up for you. And that has been designed by Caroline Fleuler, who is our designer we've been working with for many years. Caroline has designed all of the seat covers on board different aircrafts of Swiss. And it was great to work with you on this project again, Caroline. And we have a nice link today because Caroline is actually living in the canton here at Zug. So it's nice to bring you into this Swiss Taste of Switzerland concept as well. And finally, as a last focus point of the concept, we've also enhanced the reading material on board Swiss First. So we have a more interesting, wider selection of magazines and newspapers on board in the next couple of weeks. And of course, the key element is our service that I talked about with the more individualized, more personalized service that can only be felt on board, and it's a little bit difficult to bring it across here, so I recommend that you do fly Swiss First so you can enjoy this service yourself. Okay, that's about Swiss First, the actual concept, and you'll hear more about the actual meal service then from Benedict Fanconi. Just want to take you through one or two slides quickly about our Swiss Taste of Switzerland concept. We see ourselves as the Swiss national carrier as really being in an ambassador role, and we feel that it is our duty almost to bring Switzerland closer to the passengers on board. And we do that through the culinary diversity of the airline. As I mentioned earlier, we do every 3 months, we select a new canton that is our partner canton for 3 months. We then select a hotel or a restaurant to work with, and we work together also with the Tourist Association of that canton to really deliver whatever the best of that canton has on board. We initiated this concept back in 2002. It flies on first class and business class intercontinental flights, as well as the longer business class European flights. And concept has also won what we call a Mercury Award. It's an innovation award, one of the top in-flight awards in the industry, so we're still very proud of that. And the concept was extended in 2009. We introduced the Haus Hilltul restaurant in Zurich. It is, I would say, the vegetarian restaurant probably throughout Switzerland. And they are now producing, or not producing, but designing menus on board. Wherever we have what we call meatless menus on board, they are designed by Haus Hilltul. In September of 2009, we further expanded the concept to our out destinations. We had kicked this off with Hong Kong, where we have a partnership with the Peninsula Hotel in Hong Kong. There is a Swiss chef at this hotel, the executive chef Florian Trento, is now designing menus for us on the flights Hong Kong to Zurich. And we will start this year expanding that into the other destinations of Asia. And we are looking to do something in the USA as well. And basically what we can say is this is really a win-win situation for all involved. Of course for the passengers, because they get an exciting concept that is changing every 3 months, but also for the chefs involved, like Stefan Meyer, who gets to participate and gets involved into the airline catering world. I think very interesting, of course, for the tourist associations, for the local producers of these cheeses and wines that get to place their products on board Swiss. Of course, for our local caterer, in this case, Gate Gourmet, who works with us to translate these menus on board every 3 months. A lot of work, but they do a great job. And then, of course, the media. And I think one of the things we like about this concept so much is we hope we give you something to write about, something to talk about, and it just keeps us in good contact with the local and international media. Won't go through this list, but just that you can see it's a list of all of the different cantons and restaurants, chefs that we've had on board over the year. I think you have this in your package, so you can look at that in more detail. But I think it's always fun to show the list because it's just growing and growing. I think we definitely have to start a second slide next time around. So I would suggest that we move on to the actual menus with Stefan Meyer and Benedict Fanconi. Benedict Fanconi is in my team. He manages the long-haul in-flight customer experience and does a great job with that. And Benny and Stefan will walk you through the actual meals and give you a little bit more insight into those meals.